2011 NFL Draft was one of the best of all time. Cam Newton, I believe Von Miller, Mike Evans, if I'm not mistaken. Crazy. I would honestly say it's the best draft of all time. This is the best draft of all time.
The NFL Draft takes place each and every year, and during the
His voice finna piss me off. I'm already seeing it.
three-day event in late April, we often hear that we'll know how this class will turn out in about 3 years, and it shouldn't come as a surprise that some draft classes are better than others. And during the pre-draft process, you'll hear the word generational tossed around far too often about prospects in hopes that the said player will be the best player at his position in a few short years. But speaking from an overall draft class standpoint, it is not an exaggeration to say the 2011 draft class was not just generational, but legendary. It had it all. Each of the first 7 picks in the 2011 draft were Pro Bowlers, and each of the first 6 picks were multiple-time Pro Bowlers. And 5 of the first 6 picks were all first-team All-Pros at some point in their career. This class has a regular season MVP, a Super Bowl MVP, a
2011.
multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, 2 receivers with over 10,000 career receiving yards, and not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 players with over 100 career sacks. And to put it simply, this class had it all. And in today's video, we're going to break down
Good God. No, this is the greatest draft of all time. This is let me just pull up this NFL draft real quick. That way we can look at it. You know what I'm saying? We just show about that. You got Cam, Von Miller, Marcell Dareus, who was still really good. AJ Green, Pat Pete, Julio Jones, Alden Smith, who was really good before everything happened. Jake Locker, unfortunately, is in the middle of all this BS. Same thing with Blaine Gabbert. But you got Tyron Smith, JJ Watt, even same thing with Christian Ponder. Nick Fairley, Robert Quinn, Mike Pouncey, Kerrigan, Nate Solder, Corey Legion, Prince Mukamura, Adrian Claiborne, Phil Taylor, Costanzo, Danny Watkins was Cam Jordan, Jimmy Smith, Mark Ingram, Muhammad. This is crazy.
Just how legendary the 2011 draft class was. And before we get started, I do want to thank the NFL directly for allowing me to create this video and for allowing me to be a part of the Creator Access Pass. It means a lot and is very humbling, and without further ado, let's begin.
What? How you get that? He's a part of the Creator Access Pass. Put me on. Put me on, bro. What you mean? You can't keep it.
And we are starting today's video by discussing the #1 pick in the draft in Auburn's Cam Newton. Newton was one of the most athletically gifted quarterbacks in NFL history, and he was an incredibly fun player to watch in his prime. He started his NFL career off with back-to-back 420-plus passing yard games, and I remember specifically after the Week 2 game against the Packers in 2011 that a prime Aaron Rodgers, who was on his way to having a 45-6 touchdown interception season, said that Cam would be a problem once he figured out how to win. And in his rookie year, and this is not an exaggeration for the younger audience who may not remember, Cam had over 4,700 yards of total offense and 35 total touchdowns. This was also in a 16-game regular season, and needless to say, at 22 years old, the Panthers had their franchise quarterback. Now, I know the Pro Bowl in 2025 does not have the meaning it once did, but a 4,700 total yard, 35 total touchdown season is definitely a Pro Bowl caliber season, and not surprisingly, Cam also won the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He had success in each of his next 3 seasons, including another trip to the Pro Bowl in 2013, and in a year where the Panthers went 12-4, Cam had another...
Man, like the reason why this hits so different for me is because I lived in Charlotte during this time. Like during Cam's whole career, I was in Charlotte. Whenever he was a Panther, when he went to like the Patriots and then all that stuff. But Duke said y'all need to teach me how to understand football. No, you just need to get you a football boyfriend, and then he'll tell you everything. Because we can't tell you anything. You're not gonna listen to us. You listen to him though. So go get you a boyfriend that play football. He'll tell you everything. Y'all will watch games together. He'll explain everything. You can get on his nerves. How about that? I'm not about to do that. Yeah. Around that time I had the blonde type, yeah.
Another good season and made the Pro Bowl. Despite losing in the divisional round in 2013, everything came together in 2015 as the Panthers went 15-1.
I still don't like the fact that the Panthers never got Cam a solid receiver. The best receiver they drafted was towards the end of his career with CMC and DJ Moore, I guess. They only really went and got Kelvin Benjamin. That's it.
and Cam Newton had 45 total touchdowns, including a 35-10 TD to INT ratio, which was by far the best of his career, and he won the MVP. Unfortunately, the Panthers lost in the Super Bowl to the Broncos, and believe it or not, the number 2 pick in this class in Von Miller was the Super Bowl MVP. We'll get to Von in a minute, but out of the 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round, Cam was by far the best. The other 3 were Jake Locker, who went to the Titans, Blaine Gabbert, who went to the Jags, and Christian Ponder, who went to the Vikings. Cam was everything the Panthers could have hoped for and more, as he helped turn a franchise around, and they legitimately felt that anytime.
Do y'all remember at one point they had Gabbert over Cam and Jake Locker tied? Do y'all remember that, or am I tweaking? For some reason, they said Cam wasn't the best receiver, the best quarterback in the draft. They was like, well, Blaine Gabbert has all the tools. And I'm just like, what? Just say it's because he's black. Just say it. And I don't want to pull the card out or anything like that, but it just seems to be the narrative because that's just traditionally what black quarterbacks do. They run more. They run more. They aren't as accurate as a white quarterback, and that's just history. And that's, you know, it's just like DBs. People look at white DBs and be like, man, who you about to guard? You look at Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean strapping shit up. So we like, hold up, now wait a minute. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean. We got a new era. You know what I'm saying? It's a new era coming in. So the assumptions are there, but this one was a dumb one. I'm not, get up, bro, shut up.
Time Cam was on the field, they had a chance to win. Despite Cam winning an MVP and making multiple Pro Bowls,
I don't think I realized this nigga Cam took Jericho Cotchery to the fucking Super Bowl. Jericho Cotchery. Can y'all name the teams he played for before then? Didn't think so.
He actually doesn't have the most passing yards or touchdowns from this class, as that belongs to.
All I'm going to say is, respectfully, Jericho Cotchery would not have played on any other team in the league. Respectfully. Maybe like 3 teams. I might be gassing it, but that's the, you know.
Andy Dalton. And we'll get to the Bengals 2011 draft class in a minute, but before we do, it's time to go back to Von Miller. Whenever we talk about
why they show Andy Dalton?
Players in their primes and talk about how they will be a really good player by the time they're in their 3rd or 4th season.
Von Miller's a Hall of Famer? Yes or no? Hey, yo, S. Dot. Shut up. Shut up.
That didn't apply to Von Miller. He had 60 pressures and 11.5 sacks as a rookie and was a second-team All-Pro. He had 18.5 sacks in his second season as well as a pick 6 and was a first-team All-Pro. And he finished second in the Defensive Player of the Year voting to, you guessed it, another 20.
So think about it. In a 16-game season, he averages like 4 to 5 pressures a game.
11 draftee and J.J. Watt, who had a downright insane 39 tackles for a loss and 20.5 sacks as he was on his way to his first of 3 DPOYs. Von only played 9 games in 2013, but from 2014 through 2018, he had perfect attendance as he played in all 80 games. He was a 5-time All-Pro with 2 more first-team appearances, had 63 sacks, 14 forced fumbles, and the most important of all, a Super Bowl MVP on what was one of the best defenses of all time.
I'm going to say it, bro. I want the Chargers to get some player like this that I know is just going to dominate no matter what. We ain't had that in a cool minute. And what I mean by dominate, I mean like Hall of Fame level dominate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure y'all can name people on y'all's teams. Maybe not all people, like the Bears probably can't. But let's say, for instance, Ty, he had Julio Jones. Julio Jones is like, you know, like Julio don't get his. Browns, he probably ain't got one. I mean, he got Myles Garrett. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Cowboys got Micah. The closest we've had is Keenan. That's the closest we've had is Keenan. And see, I got TJ Watt or no.
Von's peak was incredible in the future.
No, I know we had LT, but I'm saying like now, like in this era. Like LT was done playing for us about like 2009, 2010, essentially. You know, it was. You know, I started watching football really like and remembered it in 06 when he had 31 touchdowns, 30 whatever. So for me, being in like my teenagehood to adulthood, like that era, it has to just be Keenan. Even Bosa wasn't crazy like that. It wasn't like I'm like, oh, Bosa might get a. I'm like, Bosa might go crazy. I'm talking about somebody like you like, oh yeah, he finna change the game. He finna change the game. We ain't had that in a minute. I guess we got Herbert now, but it's like he finna change the game. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's a close game, down 2 or up 2, like, oh yeah, he finna ice, like on defense, he finna ice this game. He finna ice this game. Or on offense, like, oh, he finna clutch it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't, Derwin ain't. It's also bad because our holes in our defense are so big. It could have been Derwin. It could have. But they just attacked the holes in our defense, literally. So it's kind of hard. It could have been Derwin. It could have been. But we got too many holes, so it don't really make sense. It don't really make sense.
Future Hall of
honestly, I guess ours might be fucking Joe Alden Slater now. Like oh yeah, I know they're gonna block for Herbert. Like that, Cromartie, no.
Famer is a 7-time All-Pro and has 129.5 career sacks. And for those who may not remember, the pre-draft hype for Von was really high. And anytime you were drafted either first or second overall as a pass rusher, you were expected to be a franchise-changing player. And Von Miller was exactly that. Buffalo had the 3rd pick, and they used it on the big fella from Alabama in Marcell Dareus. I personally think Marcell is a player that doesn't get talked about enough for how much of an impact he had on each and every.
Marcell Dareus was amazing. He really don't get enough love. Marcell Dareus was one of the best D tackles in the league when he played. He was consistently top 5. Consistently top 5.
Game. He was a really good run defender and even made the Pro Bowl twice during his 9-year career and was a first-team All-Pro in 2014. Right. He anchored the Bills' defense for the first several years of his career really before eventually being traded to the Jags during the 2017 season. Unfortunately for Dareus, he is a part of a legendary draft class that had a lot of productive defensive players, and he also played a position that Aaron Donald played, who entered the NFL when Dareus was in year 4, and defensive tackle is already a position that does not get as much national love as it probably should, and I think these all contribute as to why Dareus isn't discussed as a part of the 2010s probably as much as he should be. He was also in an era with guys like Geno Atkins, Calais Campbell, and Ndamukong Suh.
No, Aaron Donald wasn't in this draft. Aaron Donald was 2014.
Get the point. But Dareus was a really good defensive tackle, and there was a reason they signed him to a near $100 million contract extension, which was huge at the time. Now, for the Bengals, they had one of the best draft classes in their franchise's history, as they selected A.J. Green and Andy Dalton with the first 2 picks. I know 2020 was obviously with Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, and that's why I said one of the best classes in franchise history. But A.J. Green started his career with 7 straight Pro Bowls, and nearly started his career off with 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons, as he had 964 yards in 2016 in just 10 games. I would argue the biggest pitfall for A.J. Green in his NFL career was being in the same draft class as Julio Jones, and ultimately having his peak be at the same time as guys like Julio Jones, Des Bryant, Antonio Brown, and even Odell Beckham Jr. What is unfortunate for
it's just that's the only unfortunate part. AJ Green right now would probably be the best receiver in the league. No, it's to be like he'd be top 3 still with Jamar and Jettis, but he'd be up there. AJ Green was fucking ridiculous.
For Adriel Jeremiah is a player selected 2 picks after him, was one of the 2 best receivers in the entire decade. But A.J. Green finished his career with over 10,000 yards, 2 second-team All-Pros, and 6 1,000-yard seasons. Now, for Andy Dalton,
Julio never made first-team All-Pro?
He's still active and just finished his 14th NFL season. Sure, he's bounced around over the past 5 years, as after his time in Cincinnati, he played for the Cowboys, the Bears, even the Saints for a year, and now the Panthers for each of the last 2 seasons. But the Bengals took a chance and
Who you talking about playing for the Panthers? AJ Green didn't do that.
Andy Dalton in the 2nd round, and he made 3 Pro Bowls during his time in Cincinnati, and I know Joe Burrow is a much better player than Andy Dalton, obviously.
Forgot this nigga did go to the Panthers. This is nasty.
But Andy took the Bengals to the playoffs in each of his first 5 seasons.
Why is he talking about Andy Dalton, though? That's what I'm confused about. What does Andy Dalton have to do with this? Andy Dalton wasn't in his draft class. Andy Dalton is, I mean, I guess. Was he in his draft class? Where was he? Was he? Let me see. I thought it was, okay, also I thought he was going in order. Oh, he's right there. I thought it was going in order, that's why.
And had 50.
Because he started off with the first pick, then the second pick, then the third pick.
50 wins in 5 years as their starting quarterback. He wasn't a top 10 pick or a number 1 overall pick, but a guy selected in the second round, and as of now, he's 26th in both passing yards and passing touchdowns all time.
Damn!
I don't think Andy is an all-time player by any means, but I do think his prime is a little underappreciated because he played in the early to mid-2010s with guys like Brady, Manning, Breeze, and Rodgers. But for Cincinnati
and Rivers
to draft both Andy Dalton and A.J. Green, and even draft an offensive lineman in the 4th round who would
you forgot about Rivers.
Go on to start for 7 seasons for them in Clint Bowling was a
next time, don't forget about Phillip Rivers.
Tremendous haul for the Cincinnati Bengals. Patrick Peterson was the 5th overall pick in
What the fuck is up with that nigga sideburn?
Pete started his career with 8 straight Pro Bowls and was a member of the 2010s All-Decade team. Wasn't
this his first game?
He's also a very dynamic punt returner early in his career, as he had 4 punt returns for a touchdown in his rookie year, one of which was an overtime game winner against the then St. Louis Rams. Patrick Peterson.
Okay, this might not have been his first game, but I could have sworn he had a kick return in his first game. Pat Pete, punt return, first game. Yeah. Yeah, it was against the Panthers. I'm sorry. The Panthers.
Was one of the best corner prospects we've seen in the past 15 years, and he more than proved the Cardinals right, as he was also a 3-time first-team All-Pro. There was a point where the Cardinals periodically tried to incorporate him into the offense, as he had 6 receptions during the 2013 season, and even carried the football a couple of times too. Peterson was a highly sought-after draft prospect, and he was a franchise cornerstone for a long time in the desert. Peterson played for a team that did not have a lot of success outside of the 2015 season, in which they went to the NFC Championship game, and a special shout out to Larry Fitzgerald for the big play in the divisional round against the Packers. But Peterson was undoubtedly one of the best corners from his era, along with fellow NFC West rival Richard Sherman, who was also a part of the 2011 draft class. Richard Sherman didn't play as long as Pat Pete, but his impact was significant as he had a tremendous 4-year stretch between 2012 and 2015, and he is the most known player from Seattle's Legion of Boom.
Damn.
Sherm was a 3-time first-team.
They got Sherm and Cam in the same draft?
All-Pro from 2012 to 2014, and was a second-team All-Pro in 2015.
Yeah, did y'all see that name on the bottom?
A 3-time first-team All-Pro from 2012 to
C.J. Spiller. C.J. Spiller. Demon in Madden.
2014, and was a second-team All-Pro in 2015.
Gronk, 108 and 2 tuds.
And he is most known for his elite football IQ, his trash talking, and being able to back up the trash talking, and being one of the biggest tone setters at the corner position we've seen this century. One of, by the way, not the biggest, as I'm not throwing shade at Darrelle Revis by any means. Sherm had back-to-back 8 interception seasons in 2012 and 2013, and made a play known as the Immaculate Deflection in the 2013 NFC Championship game, which sent Seattle to their first Super Bowl appearance since 2005. There was a point in Sherman's prime where teams didn't even bother throwing his way. He was that good. The Legion of Boom allowed the fewest passing yards in the NFL in 2013, and they absolutely dismantled the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl with an MVP-winning Peyton Manning, who had just thrown 55 touchdowns with a score of 43-8.
Yeah, they just...
There's
War Dog, Brady didn't dismantle them. I wouldn't say dismantle, no. Didn't, no. Beat them, yes. Dismantle might be a little bit of a stretch, because their defense also made plays.
Draft classes that don't have Hall of Famers, and there's draft classes that may only have one Hall.
Dismantle is just literally just dicing them up from start to finish. That's what I think of dismantling.
Hall of Famer, but it's extremely rare to have 2 corners in the same class that will probably get inducted in Canton within a few years of this video. Yeah. And Richard Sherman and Patrick Peterson, to me, are both Hall of Fame players.
Sherman not better than Ray?
No,
Ray Lewis? Those are two completely different positions. You can't. I don't think that's really comparable.
I'll be honest, as an analyst in their mid-20s, I know Julio Jones' numbers do not compare with the all-time greats, as he's 27th in receptions, 16th in receiving yards, and tied for 61st in touchdowns all time, as touchdowns were always tough for Julio, but to me, he was the definition of a player you had to watch live to truly understand how special he was. Julio had 7 1,000-yard seasons, and these weren't just 1,022 yards in a year where he barely clears the number. No. Each of Julio's 1,000-yard seasons were all 1,198 yards or more, and I kind of feel bad for Julio that he couldn't get 2 more yards in 2012 to have 7 1,200-yard seasons, but if you ask any fan that remembers watching him play from the 2012 to 2019 span, he was an animal. The 2015 season between him and Antonio Brown going back and forth was incredibly fun, and in a 16-game season, Julio had 136 receptions for 1,871 yards and 8 touchdowns.
He just didn't get in the end zone.
He was obviously a first-team All-Pro, and I am not using this video to talk about where he ranks all-time, because again, the numbers do not do Julio justice, but to have 6 seasons of 1,394 yards or more is ridiculous, and Julio also had 5 seasons of 1,400 yards or more. Your best bet in his prime was to double him and hope you could slow him down. A lot of younger people like to use the phrase "I'm him" when they make a play in today's era, but everyone knew it. Julio was him in his prime, and he has one of the best plays that's also unfortunately one of the most forgotten plays in Super Bowl history, and I did not know how to mention that, Falcons fans, so I apologize for bringing that specific game up, but Julio Jones was truly a different beast in his prime. Randall Cobb was a solid receiver for many years for the Packers, as he finished his career with over 7,600 receiving yards and had over 50 touchdowns with a Pro Bowl.
You know what I realized too? Teams don't play defense like this no more. Really.
Truly a different beast in his prime.
Okay, never mind, they do. This safety just whiffed so fucking bad.
Randall
Cobb
was a solid receiver for many years for the Packers, as he finished his career with over 7,600 receiving yards and had over 50 touchdowns with a Pro Bowl appearance back in 2014. Torrey Smith was a second-round pick from Maryland and finished 4th in receiving yards in this class, as he had over 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns. Torrey was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, one with the Ravens in 2012 and one with the Eagles in 2017, and I think there is 2 things Torrey is most known for. His brother unfortunately tragically passing away in September of 2012, the night before a big Week 3 Sunday night game against the Patriots, and Torrey told Coach John Harbaugh he wanted to play, and he went out and had a 6-catch, 127-yard, 2-touchdown performance as Baltimore beat the Patriots 31-30. He is also most known for a flea flicker touchdown from Nick Foles during the 2017 NFC Championship game. Torrey's Eagles beat another player from the 2011 class in the NFC Championship game, who is 5th in this class in receiving yards, in tight end Kyle Rudolph.
Yo, this is the best class of all time.
Rudolph was the most productive tight end from this class, though I do want to shout out Julius Thomas for back-to-back 12 touchdown seasons.
Leave me in my water alone. You just keep saying the same thing. Leave me in my water alone.
With the Broncos, and people who had him in fantasy during that time period definitely remember Julius, but Kyle Rudolph finished his career as a 2-time Pro Bowler and actually won the Pro Bowl MVP in 2012 and was a reliable tight end for the Vikings for many years. He is best known for a game-winning touchdown catch against the Saints in the playoffs in the wildcard round in 2019, and for being a very quarterback-friendly target throughout
this is still kind of a push-off
his entire career. There were 2 running backs from this class that were head and shoulders above everyone else, and they were Mark Ingram and DeMarco Murray. Mark Ingram won the Heisman during his time at Alabama and did not have a great start to his career. For reference, he had just 1,605 total yards through the first 3 years. Not rushing yards, but total yards. Damn. He had a rare career for a running back where he started out slow but got better over the next several years of his career and eventually had 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons. He is best known for his 2017 season with the Saints, where he and a then-rookie Alvin Kamara had a tremendous year and combined for 25 total touchdowns. He had a really good year with the Ravens in 2019, as he had 15 total touchdowns and his final 1,000-yard year of his career. Ingram finished his career with over 8,100 rushing yards and 65 rushing touchdowns, and this may surprise you, but he actually doesn't have the most rushing touchdowns from this class. That would be Cam Newton with 75. DeMarco Murray was a really fun player for a short time period, as he was a 3-time Pro Bowler and ran for 1,100 yards or more 3 times in his career. Murray is best known for his insane 2014 season, in which he had over 1,800 yards rushing, as well as an additional 400 yards receiving for a 2,200 total yard year, along with 13 total touchdowns. He was a first-team All-Pro, won the Offensive Player of the Year, and finished third in MVP voting.
This the draft where we tried to draft Cam Jordan, got told he wasn't on the board because they didn't know, and then took the tight end Jordan Cameron. We also took Phil Taylor. Fuck this draft.
What? Wow. I didn't know that.
Aaron Rodgers and J.J. Watt. Murray played a single season with the Eagles in 2015 before finishing his career with the Titans in 2016 and 2017. And he actually had a really good year with the Titans in 2016, as he had nearly 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns, and there was a very brief period in time where there was a running back duo of DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. And while Mark Ingram and DeMarco Murray may have never been the best back of their generation, the 2011 class had 2 running backs have over 7,000 career rushing yards, which was more than any class in a 5-year span between 2009 and 2013. This was obviously a legendary class, but where I think it shines most is where games are won.
Damn, Jimmy Graham and Color Rush. I miss it, man. Life was so simple back then, bro. I mean, not Color Rush, I'm sorry, BCA. Not Color Rush, BCA. Breast cancer. Breast cancer awareness month.
Won and lost for that matter, and that's in the trenches. And this class has not just 1 or 2, but several players that I think will eventually end up in Canton when it's all said and done. We already discussed Von Miller at length, but it's not just...
You say something again about my water, I'm timing you out, bro. Stop talking about... Oh, they already did it. Leave my water alone, bro. It's not even fucking water. It's body armor. It's literally body armor. Jesus. I've seen you say it the other 13 times.
Just limited to the defensive trenches either, as Dallas offensive tackle Tyron Smith is one of 4 players from this class to be an
it's body armor
8-time Pro Bowler. Tyron Smith was drafted at 20 years old and didn't turn 21 until December of his rookie season, and he was a longtime starter for the Dallas Cowboys and will eventually get put into the Ring of Honor, and I would probably say the Hall of Fame too. He was an 8-time...
It's not amazing. It's just something to drink other than water. So this is what I drink whenever I don't want to drink water. That's it.
Pro Bowler and...
Yeah, Bente, yes. It's just so I can get flavor and I'm not just drinking water.
A 4-time All-Pro, including 2 first-team All-Pros in 2014 and 2016. I know Tyron missed a few games per year every season, as the last time he played a full season was all the way back in 2015, but he was pretty much everything the Cowboys could have hoped for when they made this pick. And the reality is, if you can draft an 8-time Pro Bowler and have a guy play at least 13 games in every season for 10 straight years the way Tyron did, you are making that pick every single time, period. And for reference, he was the only offensive tackle to make a Pro Bowl from this draft class, despite 5
Why did he fall?
being selected in the first round. This class was loaded with trench play throughout, and I didn't want to skip over Aldon Smith, who was picked directly before Tyron Smith, and Aldon started his career off with 33.5 sacks in the first 2 years. Aldon was an absolute monster for the 49ers in 2011 and 2012, and he was very easily on a Hall of Fame trajectory through the first 2 years of his career. Unfortunately, he had a lot of off-the-field issues, and that got in the way of him adding from what would have been another 100-sack player in this class had he never been suspended and had he stayed healthy. Aldon had 42 sacks in the first 43 games of his career, and sure, he probably wouldn't have kept that pace up, but he was only 24 years old at the time and very easily could have been an all-time great based on how he played through those first few years. Saints pass rusher Cam Jordan is still kicking, and he's a franchise legend and a guy that as soon as he retires, they should just go ahead and schedule the induction into the Saints Ring of Honor. And obviously Saints fans know how bitter the rivalry is between them and the Falcons, so what I think would be pretty cool for the Saints to do is to bring Cam back for the Falcons-Saints game the following year and induct him into the Ring of Honor at halftime of that said game.
Have to.
I know Cam has taken a step back specifically over the last 2 years, but from 2013 through 2022, so a 10-year span, this was a guy who missed just 2 games and a player who had 106.5 sacks during this time frame, as well as making 8 Pro Bowls. Lifetime, he has 121.5 career sacks and is a 3-time All-Pro. I think prime Cam Jordan gets forgotten about at times, but he was another really good pass rusher from this class. Justin Houston played for several teams towards the end of his career, but there was a couple of years span in Kansas City where he was a really good pass rusher, and despite there being
Boy, I used to hate these niggas, man. It was him and Tom Bahali, bro. This was hell. Boy, and we didn't have no tackles at this time on the Chargers. This shit was hell.
Multiple Hall of Fame pass rushers in this class. Justin Houston actually has the most sacks in a single season from this class, as he had 22 back in 2014. 2014 was by far the best year of his career, as his career high in sacks aside from that year was 11, but Houston still made 4 Pro Bowls and had 4 seasons with 10 or more sacks.
Man, come on, bro. This is traumatizing, dude. This is PTSD. This is Joe Barksdale, man. God, lead it, bro. This was God. You see how God, this is why I'm trying to be positive, man. Because now we got Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. This is why you always got to be patient and be proud and be positive. Because we had Russell Okung, I think that is, or that's Chris Hairston, and Joe Barksdale. Oh, Jesus. Be a fence. It was me and you out there blocking. Look at how easy this is. Now imagine seeing this every play, no matter the pass rusher.
And 3 more with 9 or more sacks. And he, like a lot of other...
Man. Look at this pocket, bro. What's good to say? Look at this pocket.
Players in
that was a screen.
This class was a problem to...
That wasn't Philip's fault. Philip just said fuck it.
Deal with in his prime. Robert Quinn is another underrated pass rusher from the 2011 class, and
that ain't Philip's fault. Philip just said, fuck it, we're going to lose anyways.
Had 2 18-plus sack seasons. As
that's one thing Philip was good at in his career. Philip will help you get your stats on defense. Can't other quarterbacks say that? Let's talk about it. Like, if you need an incentive, hey, yo, Phil, let me get a pick. Dang, nah, but I got you. He threw you a pick.
Well as 5 double-digit sack seasons. He made 3 Pro Bowls in his career, was a first-team All-Pro in 2013.
Robert Quinn. Yeah, Philip is a helpful guy.
Had a career-high 19 sacks that year and finished 4th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Quinn was a...
Is it me or I prefer these Rams jerseys? That's not. Music ain't even playing right now. Why would you try to request a song? Ain't no music playing. We watching videos.
Really good player.
I'm not playing music right now.
For a long time.
Play my song, boy. Hey, yo, down and back. Down and back. Down and back. It's insane. You know what? I'm going to send you down and back with some grapes, too. Here you go. I'm going to give you a grape, too. There you go. Nah, there you go. Send you down and back with some grapes. Come back with some sense.
Time and finished his career with 100.
Played my song, boy. You must not know. I watched Sinners last week. I'm woke.
102 sacks, and Aaron Donald, yes, that Aaron Donald, has credited Robert Quinn with helping him progress as an NFL player and help him refine his technique as a pass rusher once he got to the league. While Ryan Kerrigan didn't quite get to 100 career sacks, he was the 16th pick.
He used to do that flex and shit. It was tough.
The first round from this draft, and I do think he is a forgotten player from this class. Unfortunately, that happens when you play on a losing team like Kerrigan did for a lot of his career, but Kerrigan made 4 Pro Bowls in his day and had 4 seasons with 11 or more.
Now, Ryan Kerrigan with Brian Rakpo. This was a comp team. London Fletcher, D'Angelo Hall. Crazy team. The movie is good. Yeah, the movie's good.
Sacks and ultimately finished his career with 95.5. He had a tremendous career, and if we did a draft grades
he got cooked.
Video for the 2011 class,
the Bears won the draft? No. No, they didn't. Hey, hold up. Hey, Fendi. You a Bears fan? I'm gonna pray for you.
Kerrigan would absolutely receive an A+ grade. It's just unfortunate for him specifically that there's so many great.
Hey, listen. I'm glad y'all took care of Keenan, but it's time for him to come home, okay? Hope he didn't get a jersey. Hope he didn't think he was coming back. A Chargers fan is even worse. Watch your fucking mouth. It's already painful enough being one. I don't need your shit talking too.
players in this class. And an interior defensive lineman from this draft is actually coming off of a first-team All-Pro season at 30.
Yo, look at Mike Tomlin, young ass. What has Herbert done?
Chargers fans stand TF up. I'm confident that we will go 12-7 and we good receivers can't wait for the season to start.
Stand up! Hey, stand up! Hey, listen. That's what you call that. Hey, listen. Hey,
Vic, I'ma get you a shirt that say we took Omarion over Golden.
And I'm gonna rock that motherfucker too. Hey, you got a good head on your shoulders, man. Great head. You're gonna be great. Listen. The greater things in life is coming your way.
5 years old in Cam Heyward, and Cam took a little while to get going as he didn't.
Yo, you made grape just go by nose. Watch your mouth.
Make his first career Pro Bowl until he was in year 7 at age 28, but he is now a 7-time Pro Bowler as well as a 5-time.
Fuck LA. Fuck Vic because he liked the Chargers, and fuck that powder blue and gold. Chargers, sit the fuck down, them ringless bastards. Bear down.
Hey Devo, just remember you came in here talking mighty crazy when y'all was 4-2. Didn't the Bears start off 4-2 and y'all said this was our year? And proceeded to lose 10 straight fucking games? Now we're on that timing. You niggas lost 10 games in a row. Y'all wasn't winning for 2 months. Damn near 3. You niggas started to work every day for 3 months straight. Losers. Fuck out of here. You niggas can't say shit. Y'all was losers for... Nigga, y'all spent a quarter of the year sad as shit. I don't want to... Back to the video.
All-Pro with 4 first-team All-Pros. He's played over 200 games for the Steelers, and the best, most complimentary...
I got something for y'all. Give me 1 second.
The way I think I could describe Cam Heyward is he is by every definition a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's a Hall of Famer, he's a great guy off the field, and he kicks rear ends and takes names later on the field as well.
Give me 1 second.
We've talked a lot about high draft picks in this class and even mentioned Richard Sherman too, who was drafted in the 5th round, but there was also a center in this draft taken in the 6th round.
Man, fuck the Chargers. I hope you niggas go 7-10. I'm glad we stole the tight end you wanted. You niggas suck. Generational choking ass niggas. I thought you bitch ass niggas was the Steelers the first time I played Madden, you weak ass fraud ass lemonade pants having ass niggas. Y'all don't deserve them gold pants, let the Steelers have them, every other team can take that shit off.
The Texans weren't injured.
Have heard of named Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce aged like fine wine as a player as he made his first Pro Bowl in year 4 in 2014, then missed the Pro Bowl in 2015, then
Look
had a
who put on a stinker
of
in the playoffs. At least we gave CJ a run for his money. Like I said, V3 bear down, we could have did better. Look at the last time the Bears went against Houston. Shut that shit up, tubby ass boy. We taking the North Watch.
No y'all not. No y'all not.
Either making the Pro Bowl or being named a first-team All-Pro for the remainder of his career from 2016 on. While Kelce does not have the most Pro Bowls in this class, as he has 7, he does have the most first-team All-Pros with 6, which is more impressive than making the Pro Bowl in my personal opinion. Jason has obviously done well for himself outside of football, and good for him by the way, but he should be a first...
Baby, you're lying. We won in 2019 against the Ravens.
Ballot Hall of Famer when the time comes. I know there were discussions about his position having a hard time getting into the Hall of Fame, but being a 6-time first-team All-Pro is
Lions
insane.
Say otherwise, Lamau. You think Ben Johnson gone to SMTH, Lamau?
Wait. When the last time the Falcons won a playoff game? When the last time niggas been to the playoffs? 2018, so a year before us. Ooh.
The best center of his era, and he is also one of the biggest draft steals of all time.
Wait, the real question. When was the last time the Bears won a playoff game?
J.J. Watt dominated the NFL in a way that not a lot of people have, and his peak was truly...
Who did y'all beat?
one of the highest in NFL history. He had a solid rookie season in 2011 and exploded onto the scene in 2012 as he had his first of 2 20-sack seasons and won his first of 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. JJ had a 4-year span from 2012 through 2015 where he didn't miss a game and had 190 quarterback hits, 119 tackles for a loss, 69 sacks, and was a 4-time first-team All-Pro.
Giants
His
Nations,
prime is right
let's
up.
ride.
Party's over. Nobody care about y'all. Nobody cares about y'all. Party's over.
There with any of the all-time greats, and unfortunately he only played in 8 games between 2016 and 2017 before having a 16-sack season along with 7 forced fumbles in 2018 as he made his 5th and final first-team All-Pro. JJ had one good last year
When
with
was
the
the
Cardinals
last
in
time the
2022 as he
Chargers
had
won a
walked out.
Super Bowl? Oh. Steal a nation, nigga.
Here come these fucking dinosaurs. Okay.
On a 12.5 sack season and finished his career with 114.5 sacks, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and will be a Hall of Famer in a few short years. The 2011 class truly had it all, from an MVP #1 overall pick to a Super Bowl MVP #2 overall pick
Cushing was in here too?
to a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, several Hall of Famers throughout the class, and a whole lot of key contributors for that matter too. I've been wanting to do a video on this class for a long time, and I appreciate the NFL's help for making this possible, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and until next time, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.
So he say be safe, have a great day. It's a good thing. When I say it's a problem.